It's hard to explain the relationship between Victoria and I. We never had the same parents, but we were as close as sisters could be. We connected on a spiritual level, deeply rooted in Jesus Christ. Now I understand what it meant when the Bible said David loved Jonathan as his own soul. Victoria was the type of person who loved laughter. In fact, when we just met, I was in awe of her constant laughter, and I was opposite of her in this sense. But eventually, she rubbed off on me, and it became our thing. I remember on one occasion when we were given a detailed lecture on cooking skills, and then the same person served Victoria burnt meatballs. When I saw it, I started to do a soft cough, trying not even to start smiling. But the minute Vic saw my face, it was over. We could no longer hold it in. We laughed until we could no longer stand. My jaw started to pain. Tears started to flow. It's as if we couldn't stop laughing. But that's how she was. Her joy for life was so beautiful, and that came from her joy from the Lord. I don't think I have met another person who loved the Lord the way Vix did. Her heart was completely sold out for Christ, and whoever came across her could know that she was beautiful. She was truly, truly beautiful because her heart for the Lord was so pure. She walked circumspect, and in all things she sought to please the Lord. She wrote songs about the goodness of God. She was always ready to serve when called upon, and despite her naturally shy nature, she stepped out there in service for the Lord, relying on these words: God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of courage and a sound mind. She wrote devotionals. She did blogs. Whatever she could to share the good news, she did. Victoria was kind and so thoughtful. She could easily empathize with people. Everywhere she went, she shared her love. She was so peaceful and gentle. She lighted up a room wherever she went, because anyone who met her could not deny that she carried a light with her that God, Abba Father, has given to her. I think at some point along the way, it was almost like we could read each other's mind, because there were just things that we knew and we never needed to discuss it or even say a word, because we knew what the other person was thinking. Anyone who knew Vix knew she loved to take pictures, many pictures, and soon it became our thing. We both liked taking pictures, and the poor photographer could never quite get it right, so they had to do it again and again and again until we were both satisfied, at least with one of the pictures. Vix was one of the most organized people I've ever met. She had everything set out so perfectly. I was the opposite in this sense. Vix was the one who always reminded me of the birthdays, special occasions, and whatever else. But somehow we found a middle ground despite this, and I learned how to be somewhat punctual, and I guess she learned how to relax things a bit. My sister was a chef. While doing biochem, she cooked the meat and I cooked the rice. So as my sister would say, she was the chef de pollo and I was the chef de arroz. I'm pretty sure that was not pronounced right. To be honest, I think I still struggle with cooking meat today. After all, I've been practicing how to cook rice all this time. Vix had a heart for people. She loved people, and I think this may have been one of the things why she chose medicine. I was overjoyed when she started medicine. It was something we always talked about. In fact, she wanted to go on Doctors Without Borders, and the Lord saw her heart and honored her desire. She started medicine in 2019, and she worked hard. She was the epitome of excellence. She worked really hard despite fatigue and tiredness, and in all that, she always found time to work for the Lord, to share His love with others, to share her time with family and friends. This year was her final year of med school, and the battle with her health was a constant. We sat together, we cried, we prayed earnestly, we fasted. In this season, I believe, Lord connected our souls so we could share one another's burden in the Spirit. My sister struggled with constant headaches, fevers, body pains, and went to the doctors after doctors. She felt truly overwhelmed. I remember her just pouring out the tears, and all I could do was hold her hand and pray. We never knew what was happening. All the tests showed that she was perfectly healthy. But she was not okay. And in spite of this, she pressed on. She would go to school the next morning, handle her patients. Despite the pain, she continued. She never stopped. My sister was a warrior. She never gave up in the face of adversity or ailments. She fought. She fought well. The Lord told her that, Victoria, this battle is not for you, it is for me. And I think truly the Lord fought this battle for her. Daughter of Zion, child of God, this is Victoria. She truly lived for God with her whole heart. She was an example for all of us, how we ought to live as children of God. The other night I had a vision of my sister. She was so filled with joy. She told me all about heaven and how I should not worry about her. If there was anyone I could be sure who made it into the kingdom of God, I am sure of Victoria. I know the Lord said to her, well done, good and faithful servant. It is well with her soul.